And on to other news. It is yet another instance of Democrats attempting to silence their critics. A private health insurer that warned its customers about the dangers of a government health care takeover is now under federal investigation. Humana, one of the country's biggest private insurers, sent a letter to its customers that read in part, quote, "Millions of seniors and disabled individuals could lose many of the important benefits and services that make Medicare Advantage health plans so valuable." It subsequently found itself under federal investigation, and the investigation was prompted by Democratic Senator Max Baucus, whom liberals are counting on to deliver a health care bill. Now, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell fumed on the Senate floor in response to this investigation, saying it goes as far as to say the government imposed gag order and also calling it a violation of free speech.
Shut up, the government says. Don't communicate with your customers. Be quiet and get in line. This gag order on companies like Humana and those in all our states, in my view, is a clear violation of that right, and it is wrong.
Joining me to discuss the latest Democratic antics is the author of the New York Times #1 bestseller, Guilty, Ann Coulter is back. Coulter, welcome back.
Thank you.
Well, why didn't everybody with a brain walk out on the Holocaust dinner? I mean, why did anyone stay?
Well, you know, probably like President Obama, they're shocked by these views, listening to Reverend Wright. Had no idea what he was saying.
Is that what it is?
Although, you know, I mean, at least give the UN credit. They're better than Columbia University. At least some people walked out.
That's actually not a bad point when you think about it. All right, but you know, one of the things we haven't talked about, you know, United States of America pays $5 billion. We bear the financial burden of the United Nations. And the question is, we've got anti-Semitism rampant, anti-Americanism rampant.
Right.
And now we have a president apologizing for the country.
Right. Not only that, I am so glad you brought this up. I was going to try to work the conversation around to it. 45 minutes to get here tonight because all the streets have to be shut down when these crazy dictators are in town.
Yeah.
And I think New York City, as long as we're on the subject, should pass a law saying the president cannot come to New York City. This has nothing to do with Obama. No, you can't come if you're Reagan or Bush. You wait 4 years in the case of Obama. And then you can come back to visit. This is crazy. You can't be shutting down streets like this.
You know, there was an article in the New York Post yesterday. Don't you just wish? Here they're murdering thug dictators. Now a number of them, Ahmadinejad and Castro, praising Obama. I'm sorry, Gaddafi and Castro praising Obama.
Right.
Don't you wish that we could just go while they're right here, arrest them, send them to Guantanamo, and interrogate them?
Well, that's why many of us want Rudy Giuliani back.
Yeah, well, he might be. All right, what do you make? First of all, the CBO is now scoring the bill that Baucus is putting out. Democrats don't like it. You got half the Democrats wanting the government option, half don't. $130 billion in cuts to seniors.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. No, and I mean, as for the public option, I don't even believe the Democrats are really so obsessed with, oh, we oppose the bill if they don't have the public option. They'll just say anything to anyone. They know that just getting any form of their idea of a health plan through is the camel's nose in the tent. That is the end of the Republican Party, because people will be paying in and they'll want to get some of their money back from that. This is why health care is so important for the Democrats, and no matter how dead it looks, do not trust that. They will be willing to pass this with 51 votes. They will wait for reconciliation, because this is a total game changer. It is like amnesty for illegals, and Americans really can't get complacent about this. They're willing to you know, change it to co-ops or the exchanges or whatever they call it, but they will not do the one thing that will solve health care, any health care problems that exist. Apparently most Americans are happy with their health care, and that is to have competition.
You've been coming out with a series of Ann Coulter articles about health care. The latest is 5.0. You take issue with the idea that this is the political equivalent of what Bill Clinton went through in '93, resulting in the Republicans taking over in '94. Why?
Right. This is one of the most peculiar lies, but liberals are so insistent on it. It was on the cover of the New York Times a few weeks ago. I just saw it on, I'd call it a competitor station, but they only have 6 viewers, so it's not quite a competitor. With liberals all saying, no, we're going to get those blue dog Democrats to vote for this, because otherwise, if health care doesn't go through, That's why Bill Clinton lost the Congress in 1994. No, it wasn't because he couldn't get it through. It's because he tried to pass Hillary Care, much like Obamacare. But they're very insistent on this, which is why for my column I went back and looked up what the New York Times had to say about the campaign that year. I mean, the reason it was the contract with America. It was Clinton coming in, raising taxes, trying to put gays in the military, mainly the assault weapon ban, so-called assault weapons.
Midnight basketball.
Midnight basketball. Right, and the Democrats' attempts to socialize health care. Americans haven't wanted this. I mean, Obama talks about how Democrats have been trying to socialize health care since 1943. Take a hint, Democrats. We don't want it.
Joe Biden says that if the Republicans can get 35 seats, that's the end of what he and Obama are trying to do to the country. So can the Republicans come up with 35 seats in the 2010 elections?
That's a good question. I mean, I think it's a lot of seats to pick up. But I think there are a lot of Democrats who have to worry about keeping their jobs.
All right, so then a friend of mine just asked me before.
And by the way, Democrats don't care about that.
A friend of mine just asked me in the break.
They would be willing to lose Congress just to get some form of health care through, because it is such a game changer for the rest of America.
Power trumps everything for a politician.
But ultimately, it's power long term, because it'll be the end of the Republican Party.
So they'll sacrifice the 35 Democrats if it means to pass it.
They'll lose one election and that's it. And then
Democrats are going to be fighting who gets not to vote for it. That's going to be their big fight. Who gets to, All right, but what do you think of, who do you think is emerging? Who would you like to see emerge as the leader of the Republican Party, maybe the next presidential candidate?
I've decided I like not having a leader.
You like it?
Yes.
You want Ann Coulter to lead the party?
No. I think this is much more fitting with our party. We're crazy individualists. You've probably seen talking points at some point or another being sent to you by...
Nobody reads them.
Right.
Exactly.
I promise you the Democrats are reading them, because I hear them all say the same thing on TV. We're individualists. And by the way, I noticed Sarah Palin's getting an awful lot of attention.
No, we're going to talk about her
Twitter items.
See, all she has to do is write one thing on Facebook.
Yeah, she killed death panels with
What
her
do you
Twitter.
think of the tactics? Last question. They're trying to claim President Carter, President Clinton, Nancy Pelosi, that if you disagree with Obama, you've got some racial problem, or that you're advancing violence in the country by extremists.
Well, two things. One is Democrats, liberals, are not used to ever having to hear an alternative point of view. They go through their lives watching mainstream media. They're buffeted along by the public schools and the colleges, and they get very upset when they hear. I mean, that's why all these, the hate speech codes on college campuses.
Yeah, I love when you go to college campuses. You're so well received,
So
Ann.
do I.
Good to see you, Ann. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Time now to check